The dynamic content page is a new page to version 9 of AI. In previous versions of AI, it's been possible to use generative patches to create real-time and interactive elements, but using them could sometimes be a little complicated and require a lot of planning. And for this reason, we've introduced the dynamic content page to make your generative content life much easier. So let's head over to the generative content page. That's onto the navigation tool, into the performance section, and onto the dynamic content icon. Okay, so what is the dynamic content page? So as I mentioned before, it's always been possible to use patches, but it's been quite a complex process. So what we've tried to do here is we've tried to provide a process which standardizes the approach to using patches and also has a useful wrapper so that you can pre-assign parameters to the controls within the wrapper, and then when that patch is loaded, it will automatically have a bank of controls down here on the right. So let's have a look at some of the uses for it. So first of all, text, live text on the screen. This is a very, very popular request. Again, something that was possible with patches, but was a little overcomplicated. So now all we need to do, we come into the browser here on the left. I've selected the dynamic text patch, and at the moment we can't actually see it on the screen. So all I need to do is just enable the dynamic content with the button at the top of the controller wrapper. There we go, so we can see the text on the screen straight away. I can just click in this box and I can type a message, let's say Aaron's message, like so. So you can see it's really quick. I didn't do some very good typing there, let's just get that in correctly. There we go. So you can type stuff in real time. We can do things like we can change the scaling, we can change the position, all that kind of stuff, the font size, you can even change the color. We've got a drop down for the font type itself, like so, opacity, all that kind of stuff. You'll notice that down here on the bottom right as well, there is a resolution. So this is the resolution that the current content is being rendered to. If you find that the content is a little heavy for your computer, you can reduce that overall resolution and the result will be stretched to your screen. So as well as text, there's a lot of other useful things. Let's have a look at some shader code. So shader code, it sounds very alien and very scary, but it's nothing hard at all. We've been using a website called ShaderToy. So ShaderToy is a sharing website which legitimately shares shader code that people have made. So with shader code you can do lots of things like generative content, backgrounds, moving wallpaper, all this kind of stuff. And the real joy of all this is because it's not locked to a specific resolution, it can be very flexible to the environments that you're using it in. So let's have a look at one of the ShaderToy examples. So down here in the cloud section, I'm going to load combustible Veroni. So we give that one a click, and straight away we can see it's firing off. Before I go any further, we should obviously mention that this one is by Shane Courtesy. He put that one up on ShaderToy himself. Thank you very much, Shane. This particular patch just has a couple of parameters. So we've got a rate control, and we've got a zoom control, and you can see it's really nice and quick and reactive to what I'm doing there. Again, things like the colorization will work on the clip, all that kind of stuff, the opacity and so on. So another really common thing that people want to do is audio reactive work. So if we go into the audio reactive section here, again, I've got a few examples. I'm going to use another one from ShaderToy just because it looks nice, but it's another great example. So this one is Waves Remix Audio Reactive. If I click on that one, and then hopefully you can see that as I clap my hands, the components move. We can, of course, change all this in real time. Excuse me while I bang on my desk a little bit. We can change the rate, the peak, full speed, all the kind of stuff that you'd want to change. The frequency range, the amplitude, everything involved. So as you can see, it's really nice and quick, really easy to use. Now we also supply some templates for the dynamic content page, really to help you kind of get things in and make it all a little bit more fluid and easy for you. So I'm just going to have a quick look at the templates themselves. So I'm going to go up to File, Open, and then within my Patches folder, I'm going to open the dynamic content folder, and then within there we've got a templates folder. So we can see we've got 3 templates there. We've got a shader toy template, shader toy with audio, and a standard template. So obviously the first 2 are specifically designed for copying and pasting shader toy code into, and the third one is for constructing your own dynamic content from scratch using either modules, shader code, Java code, or any of the other weird and wonderful things that you might use in your patch. So for now, let's just take a quick look at the shader toy template. There we go. So we can see that when we load the patch up, the first thing we see is this wrapper, and so this is the final wrapper that we see here on the page itself. Now if I double click on the wrapper to open it up, we can see a little bit further. So in here we've got the controllers and the parameters, and so if I want to name a specific parameter, I enter it in the box next to the control. There we go, like so. And we'll actually see that appear here on the wrapper, and in turn it would show here on the wrapper in the interface when we load that one up. Now if I just open up that patch, so as I mentioned, this one's for shader toy. So when you go onto the shader toy website, you'll see something very similar to what we're seeing here, a couple of sections of text, and you can literally select the text, copy it, paste it into the patch here, save the patch, and then play the patch, and it should run perfectly well for you. We supply quite a few different dynamic content examples with the software, various kind of audio ones, some nice kind of glowing things. You can see again we've got some audio reactive stuff there, some different kind of abstractions, nice patterns, things like that. Loads of stuff going on in there, and I'm sure that as time goes on we're going to add more and more to this.